now I want to get back to some bullshit. And so this new papered NAFTA deal, Trump wants to say that he's a fucking genius. So I read some of it. I read the meat and potatoes, the nuts and bolts of shit that's all over the place on it, but factual. Nothing's been changed. The only thing that they did is they fucked the dairy farmers.
Yeah, they had to do something, Frank. They had that exclusivity for the dairy farmers. I think the best way to measure it is when you hear people other than Trump talk about it. It's a fair deal for everybody.
And it looks a lot like the NAFTA deal. It's like NAFTA 2.0, really.
Yeah, that's right. It's how can they put together another deal entirely?
And here's it, guys. Listen, the cars that come from Canada, are made, the parent companies, what are they, guys? They're American.
Yeah.
Ford, GM, and Chrysler now is owned by Fiat.
Yeah.
But they're American corporations. Like, who the fuck is he shooting? And I'm going to tell you right now.
Made in Mexico.
I'm telling you, well, there's cars made in Mexico, but there's cars made in Canada. There's cars made in Oakville. There's cars, I don't know if there's still a plant in St. Thomas. I know there's still a plant in
Oshawa, I think.
In Oshawa, and there's a big giant plant still in Brampton, which is Chrysler's main plant.
Yep.
And there's still a big plant in Windsor.
Oh, and there's a big plant in Oakville just past your office there.
Oakville is where Ford came, Ford Canada.
Yeah.
And here's the fuck up. You get a person who lives across the street from that plant and buys a car that's made, I think the Edge and the Lincoln version of that is made in that plant. And that person living across the street will pay almost $1,000 freight to buy that car. A guy in Buffalo who gets that car pays the same amount of freight. How's that fucking fair?
Well, I don't think anybody said it was going to be fair. I mean, look at the...
No, anyways, so he's boasting, like he's the guy who fucking caved in because if he would have stayed outside of NAFTA and the deal would have been done with just Mexico and Canada, right?
Yeah.
It would have cost his farmers and the clean coal people, the one he's clean, beautiful coal. How the fuck does anybody buy that shit?
They're importing coal from West Virginia by the megaton, Frank.
Yeah, okay, Bill.
So
that's bullshit.
Have a look at it and correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong, Bill. You're wrong. And next thing you're going to tell me is that pagers, 8-track players, and telephone booths are coming back.
No, but I can tell you a 15-pound robin is fat.
Well, I can fucking tell you. I can tell you that the coal miners of Virginia. The guys that were out of work when Trump was elected are still out of work.
Well, I hope not, because that's another lie I heard on Saturday.
That's a fucking big lie. He's a fucking bullshitter. He gave away the sky, the sun, and the moon for them to reopen that plant. I think it was GE, and they fucking he gave them all kinds of taxes and incentives, and they never even did it.